Hello everybody, welcome back to Andrina's Creations. In today's video, I'm going to show you how to assemble my new template called the egg basket. Remember, this egg basket does not have to only be for Easter. If you have a dinosaur party or any other event that you would like to use this basket, just use your imagination and put your own theme in there. To find this template, just head on over to my website, andrinaskreations.com. So let's get started. With this template, you're going to receive two versions. Version number 1 will be the small egg basket, and version number 2 will be the large one. Now, there are the exact same thing, just with the smaller one. The piece right here is connected versus this one is separated, so you can make this as big as you want. All right, this video is going to be kind of longer than all of my assembly videos because in this video I will be explaining a lot, so you do not get confused with this template. Okay, I'm only going to assemble the large one because, again, they are the exact same thing, just one larger and one smaller. At the end, you will see the size different, or probably in the beginning, you already saw the size difference. Throughout the video, I will be telling you all the supplies that I use. Remember, all the supplies are optional. Some of them, you can use whatever supplies you want, but I'll be telling you what kind of supplies I use. And also, never forget to check down in the description box because I will try to link everything as much as I can. Remember, this template is compatible with Silhouette Studio and Cricut Design Space. For Cricut Design Space, I do provide the SVG. Anytime you open any of my templates, the SVG will have the measurements around here or in the bottom, so on. I did not print the measurements here, but if you did open up the SVG, you will see those measurements. I always explain this because my followers also get confused on how to resize the templates with Cricut Design Space. So again, when you open up the screen on Cricut Design Space, this is going to be your template. Now remember that you also receive a zipped folder, so as soon as you download the template from my website, also keep in mind that I will be trying to do my best to do all designing videos for all my recent templates. All of a sudden I've just been doing the assembly videos, but I try to explain as much as I can. Anyways, for Cricut Design Space, you must download the file. After you download the file and extract the file, you are going to go ahead and open up Cricut Design Space or Silhouette Studio, and from inside your software, that is how you're going to upload your SVG or Silhouette file. You cannot double click on the file and then expect to automatically open in Cricut Design Space. Now you can do that with Silhouette Studio. It will automatically open up in Silhouette Studio if you double click on in the Silhouette file. Also, if you only have Silhouette Basic Edition, you can only open the Silhouette file. If you do not have the other upgrades like Designer Edition and the Business Edition, you cannot open up the SVG. Now, if you do have Designer Edition and Business Edition from Silhouette Studio, you can open the SVG. The SVG and the Silhouette file is the same thing, okay? Now, for Cricut Design Space, after you download the file, you extract the file, make sure that you save it to a folder that you are able to figure it out where that folder is. I have other videos that can explain all this, but I'm just trying to explain it here. So after you save that file and you have extracted, you are now going to go ahead and open Cricut Design Space. In Cricut Design Space, you're going to go ahead and click on upload, and you're going to upload the file, either the large or the small one, whichever you want to do, right? Now, when this file comes inside of Cricut Design Space, this is not going to be the right size. That's why I provide the measurements. What you need to do is ungroup the template from the measurements that I'm giving you and move the measurements to the side, okay? Now, you're only going to select only your template, not the words, okay? Just think that the words are here. You're only going to select all your pieces from your template, and you're going to resize exactly to the measurements that I gave you. After you do that, you're able to delete the measurements that I provide, okay? Always remember, only size your template, not with those words. Move those words to the side and only size the template. Now, after you size the template, you need to remember to attach all your score marks, okay? Because the score marks, if you do not attach them, they will be cutting in a separate paper. This is only for Cricut Design Space, not for Silhouette Studio. For Silhouette Studio, you do not need to do nothing that I just said. Only thing you need to do is bring in that file into Silhouette Studio and start cutting and designing. All right, now I try my best to always color coordinate my templates. Always the pink is the main base, then the teal will be the first layer, lavender will be the second layer. If you see gray parts, that will be the acetate sheets, and then these different parts is because we are going to be doing shaker. I'm going to be explaining that a lot of these stuff is optional while I'm assembling everything, okay? And I'm also going to be telling you the supplies while I start assembling. All right, so we are going to start with our pink base, which is the main base. And I always like using 100-pound cardstock, 80-pound and up. I never like using 65-pound and cardstock because to me it's too flimsy. You can use 65-pound cardstock for stuff like this, but never for the main base. For the main base, you always want it to be sturdy and really heavy cardstock. Again, you can use 80-pound and up. For this template, you can use 12 by 12 cardstock, but it also fits on 8 by 11, okay? Now, my favorite brand of cardstock is Bazzil brand, which is right here. Bazzil. You can find this cardstock at your local Joann's craft stores, Amazon, and 12 by 12 cardstock. I'm going to leave those links down below. If you cannot find the color that you need in the Bazzil brand, I also like to use the brand Clearpath and Cardstock Warehouse. Now, remember that you can also use 8 by 11 cardstock, and they do have a thicker cardstock also at Joann's, Michael's, Amazon, or whatever. Like I said, just use thicker cardstock. So again, I'm going to be using 12 by 12 today because of the color that I'll be doing. So here are all my pieces of the pink base on the template. Right here is everything, as you can see. 2 of this shape and 2 of this shape. Okay, we're going to grab this shape right here on your template. It will be this one. You're going to go ahead and fold where you see your score marks. I personally always like to use a squeegee to help me out with this kind of stuff. You don't have to, you can just use your hands, but I'll leave also the link down below for the squeegees that I like to use. Now you're going to go ahead and grab this piece from your template. And now I'm not going to go ahead and fold the tabs right now because I want to go ahead and glue this first before I fold. Now with this, you need to be very careful to make sure that you are lining up your score marks exactly together, okay? So this has to be very flushed right here, just like this. Align your score marks really good, and then you're going to glue this tab right on top of here, and you're going to actually repeat the same steps with the other piece on the side right here. Okay, I will be using my own brand of glue, Andrina's Creations crafting glue. As you guys might know, at the moment I am not selling my glue at the moment, but you can also use art glitter glue from Amazon. I'll leave the link down below as well, or you can use any glue of your choice. Also, take your time, don't need to rush. The more time that you take and the more precise you are, you could tell that your work comes out very neat and clean. I'm just rubbing the glue around. You don't have to do this part, but I just don't want it to be oozing out when I start putting it together. Once I know it's lined up perfectly, I'm going to go ahead and use my squeegee and just squeegee that tab down. Before it dries completely, I'm going to go ahead and turn it around so I can make sure everything is lined up correctly, as you can see. And then I know it did, and then I'm just going to go ahead and finish squeegeeing it down. All right, now you're going to be left with a long piece like this, and go ahead and start folding these tabs just like this, okay, to all of them. All right, now we're going to go ahead and grab this piece right here. They're all the same size, but I'm just showing you which piece we're going to start with. So I'm going to go ahead and start with this piece. Now, these pieces, if you see all the way in the bottom right corner, I put a little dash right here just so you know how exactly it goes glued. So this dash right here has to always remain on your right, okay? Not on your left. It should always remain on your right. All right, so remember, this little dash right here, it's on my right. So I need it to remain here on my right. So I'm going to go ahead and go like this. And I am going to go ahead and glue this tab right here. My tab is going to be on the outside and my dash is on the right. So I'm just going to go ahead and glue it just like this. Make sure that you line up this line right on top of this line. You're gonna go ahead and put glue on all your tabs. Start with one side first. Do not overdo it with the glue because you don't want a whole bunch of oozing out. So just put a little bit of glue everywhere. I am going to use my bone folder that came with my scoreboard and trimmer from We Are Memory Keepers. You can use a dowel stick, you can use your fingers, you can use whatever you want, because this is what I'm going to use to smooth it out, or like go like this to adhere the glue. Now I'm going to put that to the side, and then I need all my tabs to be on the outside. This is the way that I like to glue my templates. Some people like to glue it on the inside. All right, now carefully make sure you, like I said, use durable cardstock, thicker cardstock, because for the flimsy one, this is all going to start getting bent up and all that if it's too flimsy. So like I said, just go with the curve of your egg, just like that, and make sure that everything is nice and flush to your egg. Just go like this and hold it, making sure that it's very flushed. And then I'm going to use my bone folder to go ahead and go like this to my tabs, making sure that I'm pushing. You see how that, like that, make sure you are holding it and it's all flushed. When I work with stuff with tabs, I like going under. Some people like going on top like this. I honestly don't like putting myself like this. To me, it's harder to glue on top. I like to glue under. Comment down below what kind of person are you, if you like to glue your tabs on top or under. Even when I did that video of the 3D letters, I always glue my tabs under. All right, now you're going to repeat the same steps and put glue on all these tabs and then go under and glue. Now we're going to repeat the same steps on the other side with this piece. Remember, your dash has to be in the right corner, on the right, not on the left. You're going to go ahead and turn this around. Remember, this has to remain on your right. I'm going to go ahead and stand up my template. I'm going to go ahead and put this tab down, and I'm going to push those 2 tabs in the bottom, or 3, back so I can see exactly what I'm doing. Just like that. And then I am going to go ahead and glue this egg right here, making sure that everything is aligning correctly. Here's going to be a little bit harder to see. I hope you can catch everything on the camera, but it's the same thing. I want all my tabs to be on the outside, right? And then I am just going to do the same steps on making sure that everything is flushed while I glue everything, okay? I'm probably going to skip this process of showing it on the camera, but it's the same thing. I'm going to make sure I push, and I'm going to use my bone folder to go like this to the glue tabs. All right, now this is how it's going to look. I'm going to remain on the back, and I'm going to go ahead and grab my other piece. Remember, your dash has to be on the right, as you see here. And you're going to go, oh, got blurry, sorry. You're going to go ahead and glue right on top to hide all your tabs. Doing it like this also makes it more sturdy, because now you have double the cardstock, and now it's going to be more thick, okay? So just make sure that you go carefully, line everything up correctly, and just glue on top. Before my glue fully dries, I'm going to go ahead and turn my egg around. As you can see, it's not adhered yet. And I'm going to use my squeegee, and I'm going to go right here inside of the egg. And I'm just going to go ahead and press down everywhere to make sure that everything gets adhered very good. Okay. All right. And that's how it's going to look. Now we're going to go ahead and repeat the same steps in the front of your egg. Now this part is optional. I provided a piece of acetate if you want to close up this part right here of your egg. Again, that is optional. If you do not want to close up this part of your egg, you're just going to go ahead and glue this piece on top just like that. Remember that your dash has to remain in the bottom right. You're going to go ahead and glue this on top. Now, if you want to close this up with a piece of acetate, I recommend putting the acetate first. So the acetate will go first right here. And then you go ahead and put the top piece. Just like that. Okay. Again, that acetate piece right here is optional. To glue acetate, I've been loving using this glue, but for this part right here, because it will get kind of messy when I'm using the squeegee, I am going to be using double-sided tape around the outside area of my acetate. I also added some double-sided tape right here before I adhere the acetate, just so this could be not flimsy and not stuck to your acetate, because remember, I only put it around the acetate, so when I put it on here, then the pointers will not be glued if you don't put nothing there. Again, you can use glue, but I am using double-sided tape. When adding the acetate, make sure that you cover this bottom point right here. This is the one that's the lowest. So make sure that you align everything. Do not go up so high, so low. Make sure that you are covering completely that point right here. So just make sure that you center everything. Then I'm going to go ahead and turn this around and use my squeegee. And then I'm just going to go ahead and go like that to make sure that everything is adhered properly. You don't want to do it from the top and put so much pressure that you're going to bend this. That's why I said turn it around and do it from the bottom, okay? Now, once you do that, you're going to go ahead and glue this piece on top. All right, now because this is here, you could put double-sided tape, but I'm just going to use my regular glue, and then I'm going to make sure that I don't put a lot of glue here, so when I squeegee it doesn't just ooze out to my acetate. Okay, so here is a tip. If you ever doing a project and you see that you some pieces didn't adhere, instead of just putting your bottle of glue right here to put more glue, I'm going to show you a trick. You're going to go ahead and grab a piece of cardstock, just a scrap piece that you just cut, or just cut any other piece. You're going to go ahead and put some glue on the edge, and then you are going to go ahead and rub that in that piece that didn't adhere. Just like that. And now you're going to go ahead and grab something and just squeegee that part down. And you see, now it's all glued. I actually have to do it, I think, on one other side right here. So I'm going to repeat the same steps right there. All right, your next step is to cut out your teal pieces. These pieces, you're going to go ahead and cut out your metallic cardstock or glitter cardstock. It's up to you. 12 by 12 or 8 by 11 cardstock. Here, it doesn't matter the pound of cardstock. If I'm using gold or silver, I do like to use the Kodamaa brand. You can find that on my Amazon, but I'll leave the link down below as well. I know Michael's craft stores have bundle packs of the 8x11 metallic cardstock, but you can pretty much find metallic cardstock anywhere and glitter cardstock. Your next step is going to be also to cut out this lavender pieces. This pieces is going to be your decorative pieces. Here, you are going to do a print and cut. Like you're going to go ahead and insert your image in these pieces, either in Cricut Design Space. I know you slice a background, and in Silhouette Studio, you just crop the background into these pieces. If you do not have a printer at home, you can use decorative paper, which you can find these at any craft store as well. These are just paper pads. They already come with decoration on them. You can find them at Joann's, Hobby Lobby, Michael's, wherever you find these at, okay? So they have a variety of different designs. So you're gonna go ahead and cut your design with this paper, or you're gonna go ahead and print it out. If you own a large embossing folder, you can also emboss these pieces. You're going to go ahead and cut it out of regular cardstock and run it through your embossing machine and give it an embossed look. Now, let me explain about these pieces. Like I said, you can do a print and cut with these pieces. Now, if you only own a small printer that only prints 8x11, this is going to be too large to print on your 8x11. I mean, not print, but it's going to be too large to do a print and cut, because you know, once Cricut Design Space or Silhouette Studio turn on its registration marks, you lose some of the outside where the registration marks, let's say registration marks go right here and right here, then this piece is not going to fit inside of your registration marks. So you have some options. I personally have a wide format printer, so I printed my piece on 11x17 paper because I was able, even though these pieces do fit on an 8x11 paper, you just lose because of the registration marks. So here are the options that I'm going to give you. You can go ahead and print a full sheet of 8x11. This is white cardstock. I just grabbed some white cardstock, and then you are going to go ahead and print your designs on just like the paper pads, but you're going to decide, let's say you want a SpongeBob egg, a Spider-Man egg, or whatever you want. You can just put that entire design on a 8x11 cardstock, and now you are not going to do a print and cut. You're just going to go ahead and put this paper that you printed onto your mat and just do a regular cut, not a print and cut, okay? So you're going to use this piece of paper just like a regular solid cardstock. Also, for Cricut, you cannot print, I'm not sure, I'm not a Cricut person, but I assume you cannot print a full sheet from within Cricut Design Space because it will give you registration marks. I highly recommend printing a sheet like this from Silhouette Studio. I always tell you guys, Silhouette Studio, it is free to use. The basic edition, it is free to use. All you have to do is go ahead and download Silhouette Studio. I'll leave those links down below. I have videos on how to download Silhouette Studio. You're going to go ahead and open Silhouette Studio. You're going to bring in your design, whatever background you want. You're going to make a rectangle of 8.5 by 11 because that's a sheet of paper. You're going to put that in your canvas, and you're going to just print a full sheet. After you print, you're going to go ahead and just put this on your mat, and you're going to go ahead and cut these pieces on this cardstock. All right, hopefully you understood all that. So you can go ahead and print from Silhouette Studio and finish your project in Cricut Design Space if you are using Cricut. For my Silhouette Studio, you can do the same steps if your printer is smaller than 8x11, but you still want to print your own design. Like I said, I do own a bigger printer, so I get a bigger, what is it called? The registration marks are wider on my 11x17 paper. All right, hopefully you understood all that. You can also print from wherever you want, just a full sheet. I just explained it from Silhouette Studio because that's what I use. But again, you can use regular cardstock. You can use decorative cardstock like the paper pads. You can emboss these pieces. You can even put just another piece of glitter or metallic on here, or you can go ahead and print your own design. But if, like I said, if you do have a wide format printer, you can go ahead and just insert your design into these pieces. Like I said, I also provide the sorry, I was showing you the small one, but it's the same thing for the large. You can just go ahead and slice your design onto here. Remember, I gave you two options, the small egg and the large egg. For the smaller egg, you're able to do the regular 8x11 print and cut. But also Cricut Design Space now also gives you a wider registration marks for those that do have wide format printers, so you can print larger now from Cricut Design Suites. All right, if you have any other questions, just comment down below and I'll try to go ahead and comment what I'm trying to explain. All right, so let's move on forward. So like I said, I let me show you the large one. I am using the metallic, which I did cut out gold, and then these are my lavender pieces. All right, I'm not going to go ahead and glue it one by one on the egg. I'm actually going to glue the lavender piece on top of the teal piece first, just like this. I'm going to make sure that I glue it exactly where it needs to be. Remember, this is an offset from the lavender piece, so you need to make sure that you see the exact gold all around. Okay, make sure that you don't have it lopsided, and know that be very careful on how you glue it. And then you're going to go ahead and repeat the same steps on here. Remember, this is a teal piece, this is the lavender piece. If you want to go ahead and put a design on this part right here of your egg, you would just use the same layers right here. You can print on the gold layer, or you can just print the same thing on this layer and glue it in the inside if you don't want that to be plain. I'm leaving mine plain because your treats are going to cover all that. All right, so now you can leave your egg just like this if you want to. You are done, but I did provide another piece that you can put right here as a shaker, which will be these pieces right here. You're gonna go ahead and start off with this green piece right here. Same thing, you can print it out of your decorative cardstock, you can do a print and cut, you can do whatever you want on this piece. Okay, now I do my shakers differently. If you watch my prior videos, the way I do my shakers is I cut a strip out multiple times to give it that deepness for my shakers to move. You can also use strips of foam tape and just put foam tape all around here to give it that what I'm trying to say, like it needs to be deep enough for the shakers to move. I just go with pieces of cardstock, so that I cut out 6. So the more you cut, the thicker it will be, and then your shakers are able to move. If you do not want to do this method, do not cut out these strips right here and just use thicker strip foam tape. But the way I did my template is with these. All right, so you're going to go ahead and glue. I am going to do 5 strips. All right, and I did use thicker cardstock. This is also thick cardstock. The thicker it is, the deeper it's going to get. If you use 65-pound cardstock, you're going to need more, okay, because of how thin the 65 cardstock is. I don't think I mentioned it, but the paper that I'm using to print on is also 100-pound white cardstock. I'll leave the link down below. For this one I use 8x11, and for the bigger pieces I use 11x17. But after you glue the first piece, you need to go ahead and keep on gluing how many pieces you want. Like I said, I did 5 first. Also make sure that when you are gluing these pieces that you don't leave no gaps, because then your shakers is going to come out. Oh, another thing, you do not have to make this a shaker. That's another option that you have right there. If you do not want to make this as a shaker, just put 1 strip first, just only 1. Then go ahead and glue your second strip on top, and then your third strip on top, which they will look just like this. I'm not gonna glue it right now. And then you can go ahead and use double-sided foam tape right here and put it in front of your egg if you do not want it to be a shaker, just like this. All right, and it will have those decorations, but mine will be a shaker. All right, like I said, I added 5, and this is how thick mine looks. And then if you want it thicker, just keep on adding more strips. Now you're going to go ahead and add your shaker pieces. I am using my luxury cute spoon from tjsmagictouch. You don't need this spoon, but I mean, it's cute. You see it? All right, I'll leave the link down below for this spoon as well. And I just use it to scoop my sequins. These were actually from the dollar store, like for Christmas season. I saw these like little snowflakes. They're supposed to be snowflakes, but they're just like holographic. You see? Okay, so I'm just adding a little bit. I have a separate video showing you guys, I think it was a live video, me putting or organizing all my shaker stuff, what I use for shakers. And I have a lot of videos here doing shaker stuff, so you can see what other shaker pieces I use. All right, now when you do this, I am going to use this glue to go all around. You need to make sure that you put enough glue everywhere that this doesn't lift up, because then your sequence is going to come out. Go ahead and put your acetate piece. And this is the acetate, the great part. Then I'm going to go ahead and put more glue all around. Then I'm going to go ahead and put the other strip on top. So I cut 6 strips in total. You're going to go ahead and grab that second strip right here and then just glue it on top. Because this is 65 pound, I did cut 2 strips just so it could be a little bit thicker. You do not need to do that, but I did cut out 2. You can even cut out more than 2 if you want it to be more thicker than that, and it gives it a nice look. All right, but I just did 2. Also, if you do not want to do so many layers of these strips, like right here, this one that I'm gluing right now, you can cut this one out of your metallic or glitter cardstock, but I wanted 3 of them, like the main one, then this one, and the thinner one. But like I said, you have options with these. What I mean is, like, I gave you 3. You do have to cut this one out, but then you can only use this one and cut it out your metallic or glitter. But you can do this one on solid and then do this one of your metallic, or you can do this metallic and do glitter. Like I said, you have options, but this is the main one. And now the gold one is this piece, and I'm just gonna go ahead and glue it on top. All right, once you are done gluing all your strips, this is done. Now you have another option. I know you keep saying, Andrina, you want these damn options, but listen, I'm trying to help y'all out. All right, you're gonna go ahead and grab your egg. Like I said, you could have left it like this. I gave you the options, like you didn't have to make this a shaker. You can just glue this on top right here, but I'm not just gonna glue it on top. I'm going to use double-sided tape. I mean double-sided foam tape. So I'm just gonna go ahead and I'm actually gonna fold mine just to make it a little bit thicker. I'm gonna go ahead like this, and I'm using my non-stick scissors to cut my foam tape. I'll leave the link down below for those scissors as well. And then I'm just gonna put this in the back of my egg, or the broken egg part. Make sure you place it correctly, because you know, if you're adding foam tape or glue, you're not gonna be able to move it. I'm gonna put this egg upside down, and then I'm just gonna press in the inside of my egg. Always remember, when you are hearing anything that you press in the inside of the egg, you do not want to break your egg by pushing on top. If you push on top, you can be breaking your egg because you're putting too much pressure right here when you press, right? All right, right here you are done. But if you want to add something right here, you can go ahead, like a 3D name out of cardstock or vinyl. You can add a 3D image. It's optional, again with the optionals. I will be using adhesive vinyl. My favorite brand is the 651 Oracle 651 adhesive vinyl. That's what I like to use. If you are using adhesive vinyl, you're going to need something to transfer, so you're going to need transfer tape. I don't usually use transfer tape, but I do use clear contact paper. This is the only thing that I use. You can find this in the kitchen section at your local Walmart or even Dollar Tree. I know I bought this roll a long time ago, probably back in 2018. I still have some left, because once you use the tape or the contact paper, you can keep reusing the same piece. You don't have to throw it away. A big roll cost me back then $5. I don't know how much it costs now, but you can also find this at your local dollar store for $1.25, because you know they raise the prices. But yeah, this is what I use. But if you have clear contact paper or regular contact, if you have transfer tape, go ahead and use that, but make sure it's not so sticky so you don't mess up your acetate or damage your egg. All right, but this is what I'm going to be using. Okay, so I typed the name that I wanted to type, and then I created an offset. You could do that in Cricut Design Space, and you can also do that in Silhouette Studio. So all I'm going to do is go ahead and weed. This is a weeding pen from Amazon. I'll leave the link down below as well for this. You're going to go ahead and weed. Make sure that the sticky part doesn't touch the part that you actually need, because you're gonna mess it all up. This is very sticky. Make sure you take out the pieces that you need, that you don't need, I'm sorry. My settings to cut vinyl in Silhouette Studio is my blade is number 3, 1 pass, force of 10, and speed of 8. If you are using Silhouette Studio, that's what I use. You don't have to create offsets. You could just cut your name out and leave it like this, but I did want a background on it. Now you had to put this piece on top of here. That's where you're going to use your transfer tape, and I've been using this piece for several. So I'm just going to go ahead and place it on top of here. I'm going to go ahead and use my squeegee. If you do not want to use adhesive vinyl, or you're not comfortable, just do this with cardstock. Just cut out your name, layer them on top of each other, and then just put them in front of the egg. All right, so this piece, I'm actually going to go ahead and tape it to my mat so it doesn't move, so it can remain sturdy. I'm going to use a piece of parchment paper and put it right here, not all the way at the top, just right here. Then I'm going to go ahead and place this where it needs to be. You can see with the parchment paper where it needs to be at. This is not going to stick to the parchment paper, of course. And you see I have extra tape on the top so it can go ahead and adhere to my table. Make sure you put it exactly where you need it to be at. And then you're going to press down the top part of your transfer tape to the table. So nothing's going to move right now, because remember, you tape the bottom piece of your table, and now the piece that has the top part is also taped there. So you can go ahead and remove your parchment paper, because nothing's going to move. It's going to go ahead and layer exactly where it needs to be. See, because everything, this was adhered to my table, and this also. So now when I place down, everything's going to be exactly where it needs to be. I'm going to go ahead and use my squeegee to adhere both of them together. Now I'm going to go ahead and remove this from its backing onto the transfer tape. So now I have the name right here. You're going to go ahead and grab your egg and place the name exactly. You don't have like mistakes here, because this is adhesive, all right? So use your hand to make sure you place it before even pressing down exactly where you want it to be. I'm going to go ahead and turn my egg around, and I'm going to use my squeegee to press down. Then you go ahead and carefully remove your tape. Be very careful when you are adhering this with your transfer tape, because if the transfer tape touches your cardstock, it's going to mess it up. It actually messed this one up, but I just removed this layer and then cut this piece out again and glue it. Okay, now to know the size of whatever you're going to put here, use your template. On your screen, you're going to go ahead and type out whatever you want, or the design or the image that you want to put, and you're going to measure right here with your template, and that's how you know what size to create the name or the image that you're going to cut out. Now we are completely done, and I'm going to show you the final results of them. Remember that you have two versions, a large egg and a smaller egg. For reference, this is the smaller egg. Now remember, this is not only for Easter. If you have a dinosaur party coming up or any other event that you want to give these out, you can go ahead and design them with whatever theme you would like. You're going to go ahead and add your shreds inside and also your treats, and I'm going to show you how they look at the end. If you made it all the way here to the end, please don't forget to comment down a blue heart. I would really appreciate it. I also want to say thank you so much. We have reached 91K. Y'all know we are on the road to reaching 100K. If you are new here, feel free to subscribe. Click on the notification bell to get notified every time I upload new videos. Always remember, every time I drop a new template, you will see the video here first, and then you will go ahead and purchase that template on my website. As you can see here, I'm showing you the variety that you can make. Remember, these are not only for Easter. You can design them however you want. Don't forget to follow all my other social medias to see everything that I post. Also, stay tuned because I will be releasing new templates this year. I can't wait for you guys to see it. And thank you again for the continuous support. I hope everyone has a great holiday. I hope everyone's having a blessed day, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Again, don't forget to subscribe, y'all. We are trying to reach 100K, so like, share, comment. Also comment if you learned something new in this video. I know I always repeat myself over and over, but if you learned something new in this video specifically, let me know. And if there's anything else you want me to show you, also comment down below. All right, y'all. Bye bye.